Notts County Talk. I've just finished doing the discussion with Tom and Holly. Really positive discussion. It's really nice to do a positive discussion because it feels like since we've started doing the sort of live discussion format, there's not been lots of positive results. But, massive result doesn't get much better than today's result, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm going to be doing the player ratings, a performance that was interesting from start to finish, wasn't it? There was never a dull moment in the game. 5 goals, a red card, plenty to keep people sucked in. But I'm going to hit it off with player ratings. Now, Slocum, I know he's conceded 2 goals today. Could have been a lot more. It's great to see him back. He commanded his area so well. He came to collect the ball so many times when he could have fed it. It could have fed through, and they could have gone on and scored. I'm going to give him a 7.5. He was great for me today. So yeah, not much more to be said on Slocum. I'm going to get the negative one out of the way. The outfield player, Dion Kelly-Evans, not great today. I think he's had a hard time at it though, because their winger, I think his name was Olaf. He was probably one of the best players I've seen in the National League. He's on loan from Millwall, I believe. Really strong, quick player. He gets their first goal. He's just made Kelly Evans' life just a nightmare, hasn't he? Really, but I don't think he was. He wasn't on his game today, but I think the main reason to that was who he was up against. He gets a red card. The two yellows for me, they were yellows. It was a little bit rash. So I'm going to have to give him a 4, probably the lowest I've ever given him. And if you watch the channel a lot, you know we like Kelly Evans, so sorry for that one. Dion Rollins then. I'm going to give him a 6. I feel like he should do better on their first goal. I feel like he could have put himself a bit more towards the ball, maybe even put a challenge in for the ball. It's obviously risky. You don't want to give a penalty away, but I just feel like he had the space to put a challenge in and nick the ball off their player. So yeah, I think 6 is fair. Ellis then. I was going to give him a 6. It's gone up to a 7. I just think he offers so much. He obviously goes down to get the penalty. He makes a meal of it, so it looks worse. He's just a warrior, absolute warrior. His long throws, it's just threat after threat. He's been such a good addition to the squad. Fantastic. Hopefully, it's coming towards the end of the season now. We can sort something out with him to be a long-term fixture at Notts, because I'd love to see that personally. So yeah, 7. Chickson, phenomenal today. There's so many players here. I'm just looking because I make the notes throughout the game that were just so good. Linked up so well with Miller. I'm going to give him a 7.5. He's playing out of position, but it just doesn't show because he's just been class. Since Bertrand's come in, he's a different man, different player altogether. So yeah, I think, Bertrand sort of, obviously the result sort of makes it feel a little better than it is, I suppose, but for me, he is one of those players where obviously Bertrand's come in and made that difference, and you've got to respect that, Moving on to Miller then. He could easily have been man of the match today if it weren't for Rodriguez as stepping up to take the penalty. 100%. Tom said it in the discussion. If Rodriguez doesn't step up and score that penalty, Miller could easily have been man of the match. He turned them inside out. He must have megged their players about 3 or 4 times. He's just not scared to run at them. And that's what we've been lacking, I think. By far the best performance in a Notts shirt for Miller today for me. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. I think that's fair. Reeves' movement was fantastic, as always. He's always freeing himself up when someone's in possession, and I like that about Reeves because it's really selfless, So I'm going to give him a 7. I think that's a fair. Doyle. Now, there's a couple of times when he's been caught sloppy in possession today, whether that be his passing or his first touch. You can't be too down on him, I don't think, because he also does things in the game that would go unnoticed, because I feel like whichever team you look at, I was discussing this with one of my friends at the weekend, most of the teams you look at when they have a bad performance, the holding midfielder is always the scapegoat, and I feel like Doyle is sort of not a scapegoat, so I feel like we can't be too hard on Doyle because he brings a lot, and I think, the appointment of him being assistant was probably the best decision that the board have made because he knows all of those players inside out, and I feel like he's a real good skipper, so I'm going to give him a 6.5 today. I think that's fair. Given what's happened over, obviously, the media blackout over the weekend, I just can't believe that we've come out and put that performance on. So I'm going to continue on anyway. The man of the match for us, Ruben Rodriguez. I don't know where to start, to be honest with you. I mean, from start to finish, it was his most complete performance in an off shirt. Like, without a doubt, from start to finish, he was fantastic. His first goal, you know, you could say he was a little bit lucky, but he's put his boot on it and he's gone in the back of the net. What more can a player do, you know? So I think he had a pretty flawless performance today. To step up and take that penalty, what character that showed. And I just hope he can get everyone in games going, because surely it can only get better after performances like today. So yeah, really happy with the way Ruben played today. Knowles then, he only played the first half. He was stretching them a little bit. Felt like he couldn't get into the game a little bit. Maybe it was a little bit too physical, and that's not sort of suiting the way that he plays. And I think, you know, it's fair to say that, and I'm going to give him a 6. You know, he was running, he was trying, and he was spreading the defence a little bit, but not enough to have an impact on the game. So yeah, 6. Wharton then should really have had 2 goals in my opinion. But, you know, we won't talk about it too much because we've still got the result at the end of the day. He's worked really hard today. You know, he's been hard done by the officials, but I feel like it's getting to a point now where we don't have to discuss that because it happens every game anyway. Going to give him a 7.5. It's great to see him get the goal. Hopefully that gives him the confidence to have a good run in now, and hopefully a good playoffs as well. So, yeah. Subs then. Got Brindley. I thought he looked really good, threatening. You know, attacking wise, he was, you know, really good. He was in the box for a few chances. Going to give him a 6.5. Eli Sam, I think he had a bigger impact on the game than people would suspect. So he was in the right place at the right time for the goal that got disallowed. You know, you could argue that it was a goal because it's come off their player, and you can't really tell from the angle whether he was offside or not. You know, I won't expand on it. I'm not going to go into too much because, you know, we've still come out with the result. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't know if people will agree with me, but I just feel like he had more of a hold on the game than Knowles did. So, you know, that's who he's replaced, and I think it's worked really. So in terms of tactical changes, it's worked really well. Turner came on for the last couple of minutes. I'm going to give him a 5 because he's done nothing really. Well, it wasn't even the last couple of minutes. It was the last few seconds, wasn't it? So yeah, that is the team wrapped up. I just can't believe we came away from 3 points from that game today because of how good Sutton were. You know, they were quality, really dangerous on the attack. But we've just shown, you know, if we can keep our confidence high and keep that quality and faith in the final third, what we can do. So hopefully that gives us the confidence to push on now. But we've said that a million times this season. But anyway, I'll leave it on that note. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.